Live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra, this is Joy News Prime with me, Samuel Kojo Brace. Our lead stories are businessman Richard Jakpa faces off with a state prosecutor in a confrontational cross-examination in the ongoing ambulance procurement trial as he challenges the AG to provide his version of their WhatsApp chat. Stay for details because the AG has accepted Richard Jakpa's challenge. Also, minority and organized labor demand the immediate dismissal of government appointees on the Senate board and management following the sale of 60% stake in hotels to Brian Achampon's company, as scores of protesters are left hospitalized in a standoff with the police in hands of a hotel's demo. And the Ghana police vows to bring perpetrators in the killing of 2 security men in Watubuk as they commence investigations into the incident. We'll hear from some residents who say they now live in fear. Now, Richard Jakpa clashed with state prosecutor in a confrontational cross-examination in the ongoing ambulance procurement trial as he throws a challenge to the AG to provide his version of the explosive WhatsApp chat. In this painstaking proceeding on the first full day of prosecution's cross-examination of Richard Jakpa, which focused mostly on his early days as a military officer, the third accused in the ongoing ambulance procurement trial revealed he was victimized by the hierarchy of the Ghanaian forces because of his father. Now, Latif Idrisu was in court for us and has come through with this report.
The audio recording was first put in the public domain by the opposition NDC after Richard Jakpa had said in open court he has been in meetings with the Attorney General trying to impress on him to give testimonies to ultimately convict the minority leader, Dr. Akufo-Addo.
Well, they are claiming it's a doctored tape. I didn't say that. So they should bring the original. You should tell the original to court.
But why did you record the Attorney General?
Well, that is not for you.
He says you've been disingenuous.
But that's what he claims. If
that it was
prosecuting innocent people, who is disingenuous?
It was a private conversation, and now you put it out.
You claim it's a private conversation.
That's what he says.
Well, a private conversation, when it's a conversation that leads to committing crimes, it can no longer be private.
At that press conference, where the audio was played, chairman of the opposition NDC, Asiedun Ketia, who ran commentary on the audio, described the Attorney General as the torchbearer of injustice in relation to the court action against the minority leader, and that instead of seeking justice, the Attorney General is rather hell-bent on securing the incarceration of the minority leader.
In my view, if we agree to this theory, it's so simple, the theory of the case.
Not agree to the way you want to go, the way you want to go about it.
So let's agree. Let's describe it that way. Let's describe it that way. Do you want to go about it?
Okay,
if
fine.
Agree this way, for me, it makes it simple.
Yes, it will make it fine.
It doesn't also involve. It doesn't involve any difficulty for you.
Yes, I agree. I understand your point. That it doesn't.
When you say there's no advancement, and then even next week, the whole of next week, I'll not be around. If there's a way of, if you're not even finishing next week, I would appreciate.
Oh no, okay, no, I'll not finish next week. I don't think I'll be able to finish because the documents are many.
Because the first accused has already opened and closed his case, his lawyers relied on the content of that recording to ask for a mistrial, an application the trial judge dismissed in addition with an application to injunct the Attorney General in the ongoing trial and conduct an inquiry into his conduct. In court on Thursday, the trial judge, in a 10-page ruling, readmitted the audio recording into evidence to now form part of the substantive case itself. According to lawyers for Dr. Akufo-Addo, the recording borders on the letters of credit and the terms of the contract signed between the government of Ghana and Big C to make the case that at the time the Attorney General pressed charges of causing financial loss, he did not have the full facts of the matter. Tell us what you make of Richard Jakpa's testimony today.
He has given his evidence, isn't it? So we are to test it. You wait on Thursday and beyond, Tuesday and beyond. you get the full story, so don't worry.
What do you make of his testimony?
He has given his evidence in chief. That's his case. But if you come to court and state your case, it doesn't mean that you made your case. I just want to rest it there. We are going to cross-examine him. At the end of the day, you make your own judgment.
Do you find it credible, the evidence?
Whether it's credible or not credible, he has given his evidence, and I don't want to prejudge before the court. That's his case. We also confront him with our case, and the court will make a decision out of it.
But are you surprised with the kind of things that he's been saying?
I will not say, because already it's something in the audios that we've heard, so it's not something new.
He made the point that the AG is urging him to get Atto, forcing him to be jailed for at least 1 month.
I don't want to comment because you see, it's a life matter. That's evidence in chief, and as counsel, I don't have to comment on specific. But as I said, when we come to court on Tuesday, all those things will be tackled.
But what's your initial reaction on the ruling?
Oh, the judge decided to make a ruling, and that's how the law works. Today, the judge said our objections are not something that she was going to take. We take it.
You think you have enough under your sleeves to undo what Richard Jakpa has said to court today?
Rest it there, and wait for our side of the matter, and you'll be marveled. You rest it there.
The audio, you didn't want the judge to readmit it into evidence. That has happened. Are you disappointed?
Oh, the judge has given a ruling. That's how the law works. If you think you don't want something to be admitted, you raise an objection. This is the duty of the judge to make a pronouncement of such objections. The judge has done so. That's rule of law.
You didn't want it because you felt it wouldn't do well for your case. How bad or damaging is this, admission of the audio to your case?
Not at all, because this audio is something that you have heard, isn't it? Having to heard it, you've heard it. So that is new in it. But it's about procedure. So in terms of the content, we are not minded by that because it's something that is in the public domain. But as to whether you can tender a recorded or secretly recorded audio is something that we wanted to test, because that's why we're talking about law, not about public sentiments, whether you are comfortable, you're not comfortable. It's about due process. And the judge says that that's due process, it can be tendered, we are going by it.
He also talked about the WhatsApp chat between himself and the Attorney General. Do you find that to be credible, or is something that has been made up?
Whether it's credible or not credible, I said it's a life matter. As a lawyer of at least 22 years standing, I will not conduct my case in the media by saying it's credible, it's not credible.
Now let's get some answers on what transpired in court today by bringing in private legal practitioner Samson Ladi. Grateful to you, sir, for joining. Now, AG himself isn't doing the cross-examination. How significant is that?
Yes, as I mentioned, but we spoke about this. This is the proper thing to do because it would have presented some difficulties for the one cross-examining a witness who is using the AG's own words against him, and the AG is not a witness in the case, to be able to reply him as a witness would do when they are in the witness box. So this is what was expected, that as things stand now, the propriety of the circumstances clearly dictate that this is how it has to go, rather than the Attorney General himself being in the center of leading the cross-examination. As to the impact, I'll say, and you say significance, it doesn't make any difference, really. It doesn't make any difference, because what the AG may need to do, he will ensure that his colleagues who are doing the work are properly briefed to be able to do it and do it well.
I mean, he was seen in court today passing questions to the state prosecutor. Is that why he was doing it? Or, I mean, does that tell that maybe the briefing wasn't enough and so he had to support in court?
The Attorney General Department is still the prosecutor. Under Article 88 of the Constitution, this is the job they do. So the Attorney General, when he's in court, will still be part of the team. And as part of the team, he's allowed to make contributions as to how the cross-examination goes.
Okay.
This is a criminal case. I just did a civil case today in court where someone who was a witness that I have already cross-examined and who is also a lawyer is now sitting at the bench, call it at the bar, with lawyers of the people who are doing that case. and will definitely guide the lawyers who are doing the case in a way that he has a personal understanding better than those lawyers.
Okay.
It doesn't make any difference, except the assistance that person may offer may bring a lot of clarity to those who are doing the case.
Now, Richard Japa threw a challenge to the AG to get into the box, but we understand the judge struck that out. Why that decision?
He cannot do that. He cannot determine who gets into the box. So there's no point about striking anything out. That somebody has thrown a challenge to the AG to get into the witness box. It's not done. The person who goes in to give testimony, they take the decision by themselves. And the AG is allowed to use somebody else other than himself to give the testimony in the court, for as long as those who will step in are in a position to also acquire personal knowledge of what is happening. And in the Attorney General's department, there are many people who are doing the work. It's not just the AG.
Okay. Now, there was also an issue of someone recording court proceedings last week and sharing it on WhatsApp platforms. Is that criminal?
The etiquette, I suspect the journalists who are covering the trial would be mostly journalists who have been accredited by the court. And Justice Dennis J was the one who led the training process. And even a manual has been produced for the journalists to guide them. It is not allowed to record court proceedings without permission. So even taking of notes in shorthand or whatever it is, it has to be in longhand. It has to be with permission of the court before you can do that. You are not allowed to do that. Even though the Constitution provides that justice emanates from the people and it is administered by the judiciary for and their behalf, you do not have that right. For purposes of privacy issues, for purposes of security issues, there are limits. In Section 69 of the Courts Act, which regulates how recording of court proceedings has to be done, the Chief Justice is the one who has the power to appoint the people who do the recording. And the people who do the recording, they take an oath. And when they do the recording goes through a process of verification and a process of verification and certification. Until that has been done, what you are holding is not a certified record of the court. And so you can actually get into contempt of court and be punished with prison terms for recording without permission.
Okay. All right. Grateful to you, sir, for joining us. Samson Ladia Enini is a private legal practitioner. Now, to other stories, the minority and organized labor are demanding the immediate dismissal of government appointees on the SNIT board and management for their involvement in their proposed sale of 60% stake of 4 hotels to Brian Achampon's company. This call comes on the back of a demonstration to pile pressure on government to block the sale of the hotels to Rock City Hotel Limited. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
Hundreds of them poured onto the streets wearing red and singing patriotic songs. Intermittently, the songs were changed to reflect their mood and anger. They are calling on President Akufo-Addo to immediately stop the sale of the state hotels.
This land, the hotels, what is important is that the Alodian landowners must be given equity share in this hotel. There's nothing wrong with giving 30% of the equity shares of all these hotels to the Alodian landowners. And therefore, if you are going to sell it Sit down with them, think about it. Now, what is the benefit to our people? Have you thought about it? Who is going to take over? How much is the hotel sold? What procurement processes do they follow for a sitting member of parliament and a sitting minister of state to benefit from information that is sacred for anyone to contest for procurement processes? This is a violation of ethical rules.
And we will never sit down to let this happen. Ghanaian youth, this is the time. This is the time. Don't sit back and say, and found. It is really important that we all see the importance for we to come together and fight against this oppression.
There was an unexpected guest at the protest, the Lawulano, Ni Yemo Obroni, who is the high priest of La. He intermittently poured libation during the protest. He invoked the gods to deal with persons he says are not only grabbing state properties but looting their lands.
I'm the chief priest of the land. So they are taking our property on lawful way without we allodial masters' consent. Do you understand? So if I'm a chief priest, I have to fight for my right because I have kids coming. Do you understand me? Yeah. So we need to tell the government that any land belong to La Gadangwe, they should never dare. They should give our land to X. We don't want problem with him.
Yeah, which land specifically are you talking about?
Chado, Trade Fair, the OTEX, Beach Pump License Office. Here. They have been sold to somebody. Pass and Garden, back here, no. What is this?
And you say the government has taken the lands without your consent?
Exactly. Government collaboration with the Land Commission. And this kind of Land Commission, they are bogus so far so good. They are useless commission over there. They have been sold all our lands.
Part of the capital city is currently on lockdown as a result of the hands off our hotels demonstration. What you can see right now are vehicles waiting in this gridlock. They cannot move because the protesters have taken over the road. On the road in front of the Labadi Beach Hotel and the La Palm Beach Hotel. As you can see, these vehicles heading to the Central Business District and other parts of the capital are unable to move. Those also moving towards 37, the Al Sports Stadium, Bema Camp area and its environs are unable to move. No vehicle is able to move at this point. It's a gridlock and a bumper-to-bumper situation.
It was all peaceful until a scuffle broke out between the protesters and personnel of the Ghana Police Service. Police was forced to use pepper spray to disperse the agitated crowd. The protesters had tried going beyond police barricade. North-Tongue Member of Parliament Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa says Parliament would take a serious view of the issue. He says some of the demonstrators were injured in the process.
We asked colleagues to rush them to the hospital. I suspect they are at the 37 hospitals, but I don't have the current report on their status because I've been presenting the petition. But I'm going there right away with our colleagues, and we will not abandon them in the battlefield. We are going to check up on them, and we'll keep you updated.
So what exactly happened to them, though?
Unprovoked, tear gas, pepper spray, and a number of them collapsed, a number of them got injured. Totally unacceptable. The police have exhibited bad faith. We agreed that we will terminate at Christ the King Church. Christ the King Church. This is not Christ the King Church. So why take us by surprise and then on top of that use pepper spray, use tear gas?
Away from the resident of Wa say they are living in fear after the alleged murder of 2 night security men in the municipality at different locations. One victim, 62-year-old Na Biengu Kobina, was reportedly slaughtered at his location. The other, a middle-aged man, was allegedly murdered and burned at Wa Model Basic School compound. Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafik Salam reports from Wa.
Residents of Konta, who are of multiple ethnic background, woke up this morning to the shocking news of the alleged slaughter of one of their own. Na Biengu Kobina, the 62-year-old father of 6, was found lying at the veranda of the satellite office for the Wa East District Education Office, where he works as a night security. The incident drew a large crowd of residents and passers-by to the scene. They stood quiet, many with grim and bearded tears, while they kept vigil over the dozens of police detectives searching the body of the deceased and the crime scene. Walking few yards away from the scene of the crime is the 4th son of the alleged native of Keleu, Na Biengu Ezekiel Kojo. He is yet to come to terms with what transpired. He recounted his last meeting and words with his extrovert father.
Yesterday, Sunday was a Father's Day. They asked me about that and say, what celebration can we celebrate? So once he said that, I said, oh, what do you want? He asked me, he want one drink. So I bought a drink for him. I think that's the drink that I bought to him, and that's all.
So it means that those were your last moment with your father?
Of course.
Okay, now he's been stabbed to death. What do you want to be done?
Only God. And now,
also at the crime scene are members of the Upper West Regional Security Council, led by the Upper West Regional Minister, Stephen Yakubu, who kept his store of the Sisala West District on a hiatus following the incident. Residents of Konta says they are shell-shocked about the incident and now lives in fear. Julius Yurunoba is the youth chief of Konta.
We have to live in fear. If this thing can happen to him, it can equally happen to anybody.
Despite the expression of living in fear, Minister Stephen Yakubu has this assurance for the public.
To assure the entire Wa people that the security services will be patrolling, will do what they need to do to make sure that everyone is safe.
Rolling out of Konta and to the Wa Model Junior High School is the next scene of the suspected murder of the school's night security man, Seydou Tassong. Mama Hassan Tairu is the assistant headmaster of Wa Model Junior High School.
We came early in the morning. Usually we come before he goes home, around 5. So today we got here and we saw his bicycle, including his pump. And we checked around to see whether we could find him. Unfortunately, we didn't find him. So we saw some traces of car tires. So we followed up and checked behind our toilet and almost everywhere. Some of the students said they have seen the car pass in a certain direction. So we followed up and ended at around a nearby forest where we saw some drops of blood on it. So we saw that it was freshly dug place with some burning of a mat and some clothing.
The sea of people who thronged to the scene of the crime are deeply worried to the marrow, wondering whether the issue of suspected murders of security men have clawed back to the community. They are simply asking one question, whether the investigative report that were done by the security service has been thrown to the dogs. Mumuni Jamil wants the security agencies, especially the police, to up the ante in their investigations and let the public know the outcome of their previous investigations.
The event has happened. We have not heard anything. The case has come to sleep. And for right now, how can we be rest assured that our security is safeguarded?
The scene at the family house of Na Biengu Kobina is enveloped in grief, emotion, and uncontrollable wailing. For now, there's nothing to stop them from grieving unless the perpetrators of the callous act are arrested. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Now joining us via Zoom is the Upper West Regional Minister, Stephen Yakubu, who is also the chairman of the Regional Security Council. Grateful to you for joining us. What is your preliminary investigation pointing at regarding these two killings?
As the reporter put it, so far, that is exactly how it is now on the ground. After that, we met at RESEC, and we are doing a lot of things, but these are security issues. I don't want to preempt and then tell you what we are doing. What I want to say is that I want to assure the people of Wa that we are working around the clock to unearth these hideous crimes that these people have perpetrated. That is all what I want to say.
Any arrests made so far?
Though we have not made an arrest, but as I said, I want to say very little because remember that people who have perpetrated these are actually also listening to us. With experience of other areas, I think it's better for us to keep quiet. All what people want from us is for us to unearth and to be able to arrest these people who are perpetrating this heinous crime.
Okay.
And I want to concentrate on that.
Okay. But as you heard there, your residents say they are living in fear. What they want is assurance that they will be safe. What are you telling them for them to be rest assured that all is well and they should live in peace?
They will definitely see changes on the ground. From today, they will see changes on the ground. As for what we are going to be doing, we want to leave it secret. But as I said, as a chairman of RESEC, I am assuring them that everybody should go about their normal duties and be very vigilant and then report any suspicious thing that they think is not normal to the police, because remember, information is very key in unraveling this hideous crime.
Will we see the deployment of more security personnel to the community?
Well, all this is, we are keeping this in our chest. We will, as I said, we are working around the clock. So we just want the people of Upper West to be reassured, especially Wa, to be reassured that we know what they are going through. All of us are going through that. And now we are working around the clock to make them safe.
Grateful to you, sir, for joining. Now, I heard from the resident of Domeabra farming community in the Akufo-Addo Southwest District of the Ashanti region are asking authorities to desist from giving out any permits for artisanal mining of their farmland. The indigents recently drove out some miners who claimed to have been granted permission by traditional authorities to prospect for gold in the area. Love FM Serastos Asaridonko was in the community and our reports.
The Ashanti region has suffered some of the worst forms of galamsey in the country. All major rivers and streams like the Oda and Ofin no longer support agriculture, the major occupation of the people. In the Akufo-Addo Southwest District, towns like Kunso display the grim impact of illegal artisanal mining. But neighboring community, Domeabra, holds a resistance against any form of artisanal mining.
They are mad. They want to deceive us. Never. We prefer our poverty.
Domeabra is encapsulated by the Tano Ofin Forest Reserve, presenting a good climate and arable land for farming. But some illegal miners have recently convinced some farmers to sell their lands for mining.
Illegal mining helps the youth, although it destroys our rivers. We have several rivers, so if just one is left out, there is no problem.
But why are you ready to sell beton?
I am ready to sell my land. You can give me 4,000 cedis considerably.
Claiming to have received the blessings of some unidentified authorities, the miners have started prospecting. So we have some illegal miners digging within this cocoa farm. Normally it starts like this and spreads like cancer throughout the entire town. The people here are afraid that this will turn into a full-blown illegal mining community, which will affect their means of livelihood. But Domeabra residents have vowed to resist any degradation of the environment.
We will continue to suffer with God's protection than to allow him use our land for illegal mining. You want to use my father's cocoa farm for galamsey? You are joking. We won't allow that to happen. We hear of how some places are getting money as a result of illegal mining, but the repercussions are unbearable. We won't accept that at all.
Local leaders Nana Akufo-Addo, Harry Amankwa, Nana Echa Safwa, and the assembly member for the area, Victor Ojramponsa, want the government and local authorities to back their resistance to protect the environment. Look at what
illegal mining has done to Brasso and even Kunsu. People are dying. Our forefathers knew we had gold, but they never used our lands for illegal mining because it doesn't help in development. Our lands and water bodies have been destroyed.
When you allow such galamsey to come to the Domeabra, I think we are going to encounter security problem. We are going to encounter a lot of people who will be coming here. Those of bad people, those who will be coming around, and we are lacking security aspect.
We have the Tano Ofen Forest Reserve GS nearby. Actually, Domeabra is situated within the forest. So imagine the galamsey is here. By the next 5 years, all the forest will be gone. That is why we, the youth here, we are insisting they should do something about it. I think they have some rivers, very important rivers within that forest. Understand Ofen is inside there. Tano is there. And a list of rivers. So that is why we are pleading to the government that they should be very serious about this issue. This is just a developing issue. But then they should make sure something is done about it.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Domeabra, Ashanti region.
This is still the Joy News Prime. We'll take a quick break from here. We'll be back with more. Please do stay. This is still the Joy News Prime. Welcome back from the break. Let's do more stories here. Now, after a dramatic U-turn of event, Kumasi High School and Ofori-Atta SHS have claimed victory and earned their place in the coveted quarterfinal stage of the Love FM High School debate. Kumasi High School eliminated champions of the maiden edition TI Amas Kumasi, while the Ofori-Atta Senior High School knocked out Asanteman SHS after demonstrating a masterful oratory skill that secured them spots alongside Anglican SHS, Kumasi and Presec Bompata. Nanabuachi Yadom caught up with the two qualified schools as they gear up for the next stage of the competition.
And so the first time was a contest between two champions, the champions from the Kumasi and the champions from Kumasi High School. And at the end of that contest, Kumasi High School emerged winners, proceeding to the next contest or to the next stage of the Love FM High School debate. And also, Ofori-Atta Senior High School with Asanteman Senior High School also coming up against each other. And at the end of that contest, too, Ofori-Atta Senior High School emerged winners, proceeding to the next stage of the Love FM High School debate. Hence the excitement you see here at the Christian Service University College. I have the debaters from Ofori-Atta and the debaters from Kumasi High School. I mean, they came up against former champions. I want to ask them how they feel after winning against CIMAS Kumasi. How does the victory feel for you?
Oh, we feel very amazing, and actually we feel very good because TIMAS is a very, very good when it comes to debating. And we really prepared a lot for the contest. But in the end, only the best could win. There can only be one king. So in the end, they couldn't match up to us.
What I'll say is that they should expect the best from us because Kumasi High School, our slogan is Truth Conquest. And our mission is to always to conquer. So they should expect conquering all the time and never backsliding.
I know deep down in me I could have done better. There are always ups and downs in every competition. So people should just expect the best from us. This is just the beginning. Yes.
This is just the beginning. For you, what should we expect going into the next stage of the Love FM High School debate?
Well, this time because we're coming like a hungry tiger, ready to pounce and consume it. So I think our next opponent should be really careful.
So much excitement going into the next stage of the Love FM High School debate. Expect nothing but the best from Kumasi High School and then Ofori-Atta High School. The excitement you see from Kumasi High School alongside students from Ofori-Atta Senior High School. For Joy News, my name is Domeabra.
Let's now cross over to the Western region because the ship that was expected to sail Methodist Senior High School, Takrade, to the Nationals Championship has sank D because according to them, they have interchanged their X and Y. The school has never qualified to the national stage in the history of the NSMQ. Although rated the underdogs of the first contest on day 2 of the Western Regional qualifiers, they said they have built a strong Titanic to help them sail through. James Aveji has more in the following report from Fijai.
Of the Western Regional contest of the 2024 National Science and Maths Quiz. Yesterday, Monday, 2 schools had the opportunity to grab the first 2 slots to the Nationals. And today, it's going to be 4 contests, really packed day for the boys and girls here in the Western region at the Fijai Senior High School. I said they are all prepared. Methodist is here.
You see, today, you know, what we come to show them now, it's like they think it sounds like we are underdogs. They've in fact exempt us from their budget. But we are coming to show them that we are the main thing to consider.
You are the main items to consider in the budget.
Yes.
You come and do the proper expenses.
The thing that we are going to show them now, unless they don't do the competition.
How many points would you use to show them Pepe?
Oh. Points in it. Oh, the point there. How many should we do?
When you get to the river, you know how to cross it.
When you get to the river, you know how to cross it. I see. Yes. How strong is your canoe or your ship?
More than Titanic ship. You can't even sink, yeah. Expect nothing but the best from Methodist Senior High.
People have said that before in the song.
Of course. That was them. We are Methodist Senior High, and we say young boy finame. We are here to prove our best.
And so that's the end of the first contest. And before that, Methodist Senior High School told me that they have found the equation to building a Titanic that cannot sink. But that ship has sunk so low to the bottom of the ocean. What happened?
We interchanged our X and our Y's, and I think that was the problem. So, but better luck for us next year.
Should we find the Titanic? Should we make an attempt to find it, or it is missing?
We can find it. You see in the film later on, they found out the parts now. So it means our parts can also be found. So we are going to work harder for next year. So you guys should watch out for us.
I see. You said you were the main items on the budget, but at the end of the day, it looks like you became the addendum.
You see, we thought they were preparing palm nut soup, but when we came, they were rather preparing light soup. So our ingredient that we have was different. So that was why you didn't see us well. Next.
So who misled you?
Oh, I think it's not like we were misled. It's like we didn't buy enough ingredients. Because we should have prepared. We should have get the ingredients for palm nut soup, for light soup, then for granules before we came.
Came with only ingredient for one soup.
Yes, that's
and they misled you.
Yes.
So sorry.
Sorry, too much.
Next year you'll come better.
I'll come best.
And so they look forward to coming back to build a better shape to qualify for the first time in the history of the NSMQ to the Nationals, and we wish them well.
All right, this is the Journey's Prime. We'll take a break. We'll be back with Showbiz. Do stay. Well, welcome back. Let's do showbiz now. Let me hand you over to Becky Bex. Hi, Becky. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you doing? Let me take you to the Bahamas. Call it a classic performance that got everyone wowed, and you might not be wrong. They got the heads of state up on their feet after their performance. Well, I'm talking about Chief Mumin and his Massa World Group as they performed the piece about the Asian King Massa to the crowd of more than 3,000. My colleague George Uyafe spoke exclusively to Chief Mumin after their performance in Bahamas.
The Mansa within us in the journey of transformation.
Well, it was a completely original production, and when I got the brief, I took the performance very seriously because I really acknowledge what Afro-Exim Bank is doing for the creative arts community in terms of in Africa. And so I wanted to really deliver a performance that would further inspire them to see this creative industry as an industry that can be leveraged to create employment, but also to tell great African stories on the platform. So I performed. I put more preparations into this performance in terms of a short performance than I've done in multiple performances. Usually when we get a brief like this, we kind of like put together production quickly in about 1 week. This one I contemplated for about 2 weeks.
Complained, or people in your space have always complained about the appreciation by the business community. You were flown all the way from Ghana to do this thing here. Does it demonstrate that we are getting there in terms of the business community appreciating the art of work and what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have been an advocate in trying to get the business community to really see the art as an important avenue for building value. And the work is ongoing. I think I'm super proud that Afro-Exim Bank in the last couple of years has made the creative industry a focal area. So you can see that they are really serious. The president in his speech mentioned about the creative industry. They have the Creative African Nexus, that is Canex. So Afro-Exim Bank, I think, is leading the way in African banking sector. It's early days yet. What we want to see is now a lot of people follow, because really it's not charity that we're asking for. We're asking that people to see the creative industry as a business. I believe that our culture, our art is gold and can bring as much value as our natural resources. And at a time where our natural resources are actually being depleted, what we have to look at is the human resource. Africa is known as a continent of arts and culture, but we are the least who have been able to derive economic value out of this. Why is it? Because we don't have the requisite investment. But I think that it is a gradual process. Now people are seeing the vision. As you said, a team of 30 was flown all the way from Ghana to the Bahamas. We worked with another team of 20 in the spirit of global Africa. But that's considerable expense, right, to bring us in. But it shows the commitment of Afro-Exim Bank. And we're already in serious, engagement with them to get them as a major, supporter of the work that we're doing. And this is just part of the process.
Well, my colleague George Uyafe there, but Brace, do you remember this song?
The
Hallelujah Voices.
Copyright over the David. Is it a lyric or it's the term definitive that they are? The
term definitive. We will find that out when they finally go to court. But before we go, Brace, Ghanaian dancers Afro-Atta and Abigail have returned home after finishing third at this year's Britain's Got Talent show in London. The duo arrived at the Kotoka International Airport to a hero's welcome on Sunday. They were greeted with dancing by students from Afro-Atta's dance school, Afro-Star Academy. Afro-Atta and Abigail made Ghana proud with their thrilling performance at Britain's Got Talent audition. They made it to the final.
So thank you so much for being a part of us. This is how we wrap up the show. There is more on myjoyonline.com at 8 p.m. Pius Kojo Baka will be here with Prime Business. Miss Michema Woo.